All right, good morning for the third time and the last time from the General Morgan Inn here in beautiful Greeneville, Tennessee. I'm getting ready to check out here in a minute. We're going to go today and check out President Andrew Johnson's house, our 17th president. You know, you saw his grave from when I went there yesterday. So we're going to go check out his house today and his National Historic Site. So anyway, I've already packed up and moved all my stuff downstairs, but let's go ahead and take a look at this view. Boy, beautiful day here in Greeneville. I think they're saying we're going to be up near, well, the mid-90s at least today. But I'm getting ready to check out and head to Pensacola after we go see President Andrew Johnson's house. But going to give the room one last check. Here it is. Love this room. It's beautiful. Yeah, really do. Look at these old books over here. I didn't get a chance to show you this, but this is old Encyclopedia Britannica right here. I was looking at that, and that's pretty cool to check out. Whoops. Okay, well, I just dropped it. I'll pick it up here in a minute. But yeah, look at how this looks here. All these old words. Now, can you imagine trying to read all that now? I don't think that would really work too well. But yeah, I got a couple of other books here. I'm not really sure what these are. The Balance. Not sure what that's about. And Yesterday's Harvest. Okay, well, that's interesting. So anyway, one last look at the room before I check out, and it's right now almost 10:40. I've got to be over at President Andrew Johnson's house for the tour at 11 o'clock, so we need to go on and get out of here. Thank goodness I've already packed everything up and moved everything out, so just doing one final check. Alrighty, this is it. So I'm going to go ahead and get checked out, and I'll be talking to you soon. Okay, so I'm having to record this in post-production because of the noise. You really couldn't hear me in the original video, but this is President Andrew Johnson's house. It's only a couple blocks away from the General Morgan Inn where I was staying in downtown Greeneville. And President Andrew Johnson lived in this house from the time he was a congressman all the way up until his death, including the time that he was in the White House. And we'll take a more in-depth look at it here in just a second. And here you go. Here's some information about the house and some of the pictures from the inside. You can pause that and read all this if you want to. But yeah, pretty interesting to see all this. And there's the picture of the house on the outside. And these are all the historical areas here in Greeneville, you know, regarding Andrew Johnson. We're right here at his homestead. We were at the cemetery yesterday, that's where we saw his grave. And we'll be checking out his early home later today, and also the visitor center. But here are the pictures of these. That's the early home right there. That's the memorial building and visitor center. And then the cemetery that we were at yesterday. That's his grave marker that we saw. And here you go. Here's a look at the grounds on the backyard. That's the back porch there. Wow. Here's some other information they've got. You know, I remember studying about Andrew Johnson in history class in high school. I think we just kind of glazed over him though, because you know, my teachers, I remember they always, you know, wanted to more explore presidents like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln. But pretty interesting to find out about Andrew Johnson. He was the first president to ever be impeached too. Not sure if you knew that or not. Okay, so I was not able to take a video inside President Andrew Johnson's bedroom. For whatever reason, my camcorder just didn't record it. But anyway, here are a couple of still pictures of the president's bedroom. Now, it was on the downstairs of the house, and actually First Lady Eliza Johnson lived upstairs because she had tuberculosis, which I found very interesting. They lived in two separate bedrooms, and ironically, she actually died 6 months later after he did, and that was several years later. So yeah, I found that pretty interesting, but you're going to see the rest of the rooms here in just a second.
Man, I love
this was his parlor, Andrew Johnson's parlor. Look at that.
And then we have the family parlor. That's really where you find Johnson's children. Like, yeah, of course, that's Andrew's kid, but you know, he doesn't look a lot like Lincoln. Lincoln does have an uncle in town. Andrew's hardly ever home. A little bit of the milkman's kid type deal.
He said most of the furniture and everything in here is authentic back from when Andrew Johnson lived here. So awesome. He must love to play the piano.
All the way to your left. All the way over here, yes. So we'll have to take turns sitting there. This is a small, awkward spot. Well, the reason why, it's our only PG and.
Okay, so I'm going to jump back in here in post-production. What you're looking at is some graffiti that the Confederate supporters wrote on the walls when they ransacked Andrew Johnson's house back when he was president. They all thought that he was a traitor, and so they ransacked his house and wrote a bunch of graffiti on the walls. As a matter of fact, there's still graffiti behind the wallpaper, for what we understand, all over the house, but they left one section there so that we could see it, and it says Andrew Johnson is a traitor right there on the wall. And this is a look at his son's bedroom. This was where this video was taken. So yeah, pretty interesting to see that.
They use those words. And quite often.
The old recliner.
Not too far.
So it was personal attacks on the family?
Absolutely. You know,
him and the mother?
Andrew Johnson, the bleak traitor. You know, Andrew Johnson is a traitor to his race. I don't know Andrew Johnson. But this is that room that Mary adds on for her 3 kids. 2 daughters, 1 son. Those are the original beds, original toys. You'll notice a nightgown dress in there to the left. It looks like a granddaughter's, but it's actually the grandson's. You know, if you've ever seen a baby picture of FDR, same thing. You know, very spoiled babies, very taken care of. However, his son live across the hall. And one of the saddest stories here, if not the saddest story, honestly. He showed the most potential. He would go into politics like his father. He would go into the Union Army. But he starts getting depressed during the Civil War because he had to organize his brother's funeral. He's the only one that went to his brother's funeral. And then he also starts showing signs of TB during the war. So he starts showing signs of pain. So he starts drinking to deal with the mental and physical pain that you have. And that alcohol drinking will eventually upgrade to laudanum. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to jump back in here in post-production and just explain to you what you're seeing right now. This is Andrew Johnson's family dining room there at his house in Greeneville, Tennessee. But all this furniture that you see was originally in the White House while he was president. This was all the furniture in the dining room set and everything that came from the dining room in the White House. And apparently President Andrew Johnson was able to keep all this furniture when he returned to Greeneville after he left office.
The kitchen moved into the basement, and that's why that's now Junior's. There is a picture of Junior on the mantle over there to the left, him and his wife, and his amazing beard. He has like that Burnside type beard going on. But Junior is only married to his wife for about 6 months. There's those pictures on that table. There was the woman on the far left. Her name was Dolly.
That's Dolly, okay.
Absolutely. Dolly lived in here with her 3 babies. Her brother is pictured in the middle. His name was Sam. Sam would have lived out back in the cabin with his own family and 2 kids. Then we have one more photo to the right of Sam. It looks like 2 white children, even from a distance. One of them is not. She's in this very beautiful dress, but her name was Liz, and she's what they call a mulatto, which means half black, half white. She's one of 3 mulattoes, and they are all born enslaved. So that makes Dolly their mother, and it always begs the question.
Okay, so just toured the house, and really interesting. I really highly recommend you come tour it if you ever come to Greeneville. But one thing I did want to mention, the tour guide told us about that stone you see right there. And this is a pretty interesting story about that. That stone used to represent the Greeneville city limits, meaning that this area over here was the county, and that from that stone all the way up there was the city limits. And he said that Andrew Johnson bought this house as a congressman because it was outside, it was in the county actually, but it was still close enough to the city. So that stone right there marked the city limits, and he had a daughter who had a house right there. She had to pay city taxes because her house was in the city while his was in the county. So yeah, isn't that pretty interesting to see there? I found that pretty interesting myself. But yeah, very interesting. We're going to walk around and take a look at the front of the house, and we'll go over there and check out that police car, and then we're going to head down to the Visitor Center. We'll show you a replica of Andrew Johnson's birthplace. Yeah, now check out this old police car here, old sheriff's car. I don't know what year this is from. That's probably got to be from at least the 50s, maybe even earlier than that, I'm not sure. But pretty cool to check out. Yeah, very vintage. Yeah, I'd have to say probably late 40s, early 50s maybe. Wow, pretty cool. This is called the City Garage and Car Museum. I may have to check this out next time we're here. But, yeah, pretty neat to check out there. That's what police cars used to have. Notice there's no protective bearing between the officer and the crook, or the convict, I should say. Suspect, I guess that's a better word. Alrighty, here's President Andrew Johnson's house across the street. That's the front of it there. Beautiful house. I really like it. Really neat. And once again, there's a look at President Andrew Johnson's house from the back. And we'll look out here. I heard that there's a natural spring over here. We're going to go check that out. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, this is the natural spring. Now the tour guide was telling us that this area here was where Andrew spent his very first night in Greeneville when he was a kid. So he came down here and hung out here. And that was before the house was even built. So you can imagine what it was like when he was a congressman and bought that house and was looking over the area where he first spent his first night when he moved to Greeneville as a kid. Pretty interesting there. But yeah, this is nice. I really like this. It's beautiful out here. And the tour is free, by the way. So you just have to go to the visitor center and get a ticket to go. And I highly recommend it if you're ever in the Greeneville area. All right, we're going to head over to the visitor center and check out his tailoring shop and also a replica of his homestead. All right, before we head over to the visitor center, I thought I'd come over and check this out. This is called the Seth Babb Log House. So let's see, find out more about this. I don't think there's any tour guides here, but we'll walk in here and see what this is all about. Okay. Yes, the Babb Homestead, as they called it. Pretty interesting to see in there. This is right by President Andrew Johnson's house. Actually, this probably could be considered his backyard. This is pretty interesting. I love looking at history like this. Yeah, and to give you an idea, President Andrew Johnson's house is just right back over there behind those trees. So, yeah, really close. And here's a photo of this log house from the outside, the other side rather, I should say.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.